Okay, hi. This is Rick Schabilion, and he is part of the lead team, and I'm going to ask him a few questions today. First off, what is your personal philosophy of leadership?
I think leadership is something that is like my personal philosophy of leadership is always being able to like change. I guess like a leader should never be set in any certain ideals or beliefs. Like a leader should always be able to change, to adapt to like the different situations at different times. There's different people in general. Like a leader should be able to be malleable in a sense to where they can always be effective no matter what situation.
Okay. Also, how did you first get involved on campus?
I have to say it was when I was in the Emerging Leaders FLC when I did my community service project with them, and my friends I met in my FLC got me to push me to go like in organizations like Campus Pals and things like that. So yeah, it's probably the fact that I was in the FLC.
Okay. What skills do you believe are important to be an effective leader, and why?
Well, a leader has to know when to take charge, but also know when not to take charge. In a sense, like a leader always wants to be able to motivate, and a leader needs to be somebody to look up to. A leader needs to be somebody, a role model. A leader doesn't need to just be somebody they can like look up to, but somebody to inspire, like to push them to be just as good as the leader. So it's kind of like and you need that because like a leader, they might be the ones remembered, but at the same time like they never accomplish anything without who they're leading in a sense. So a leader always needs to be able to push who they're leading, not just be the shining light all the time, but be able to bring everyone who's with them into light too, kind of in a way.
And speaking of a leader, who would you consider your leadership role model or mentor?
I mean, I'm more than one, but I'd say one of my main mentors would be Marcus Riggs, my Campus Pals mentor from last year, because just of like all the success he has on campus, like being in the 1913 Society, being student assistant to like the president of Georgia State, the business being in the business fraternity, all these just things. At the same time, he kept like his laid back personality and his like he's just like a good guy to be around. He doesn't like you don't feel like intimidated by him, but at the same time, he's done all these things that you can be inspired from. But I'll say, for me personally, like, as what I've been affected by the most, I'd just say it'll be my mom more than anything. She definitely, just how she raised me, to be just understanding all that is just really important, I think, to when it comes to, like, especially leadership, just being able to, like, just get along.
That's good. What are some of the things you do in your role as a student leader?
Um, I guess a leader doesn't let me, like, set things. It's kind of like, as a leader, you always kind of know you're a role model in a sense, so I guess one of the things you do is you just, it's all about you kind of have to just present yourself in a certain way. Like, yeah, like a leader isn't like any set like definition. So, yeah, like just the fact that people are looking up to you is kind of like what you do as a leader. Is it's kind of like it's hard to explain, but just the fact that you're being a role model is like what should the sense of what you are.
Okay. What has been your biggest challenge and accomplishment as a student leader?
Biggest challenge, I guess sometimes it'd be like taking criticisms, being able to like the introspection part of it, like recognizing when you actually need to like fix something, when somebody tells you, like being able to recognize, like accept constructive criticisms, like because nobody wants to hear what you're doing wrong, but it's like it's really really important when becoming a leader to know when to fix yourself.
Okay. Lastly, what are any words of advice that you would give to a new student leader?
I would say don't let it go to your head at all. I'd say being able to relate to the people you're leading is probably one of the biggest things you could ever like. It's like when people trust you, it's like just like this unspoken trust, like where they're just gonna follow you. Like it's so much easier to lead when they're willing to like follow you like that without like having to always prove yourself. So being able to like relate to them and what they're going through is always a big part of it. So never let like a position or anything go to your head. Like always understand like where other people are coming from in a sense.
Okay. Well, thank you for answering my questions, Rick. That is the end of the interview.